Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Wanted to do a quick video talking about a film I saw the other day, and that is Twixt. This movie was at the dollar store, and I noticed locally the dollar store Blu-rays just fly off the shelf. Certain Dollar Trees will get them, there'll be a ton of them, and then they're gone. Or I don't know if maybe they're just throwing things out or shipping it back afterwards after a certain time frame. But this was from the dollar store. I missed it, but I had an eBay coupon for $3 off of $3 or more. So it was $4 on eBay. So I paid $1 for it anyhow. And yeah, I wasn't quite sure what to think of this before I ordered it because I had read some really scathing, bad reviews. So I wanted to talk about it because I think it sort of doesn't get a fair shake. This movie Twixt, which sounds like betwixt, which means in between two things. So I guess Twixt would be like a abbreviated version of that, in between, a dream world and reality, so to speak. Stars Val Kilmer as a book writer, but he's a very low class, third rate Stephen King or not basement dwelling. What do they call him? Bargain basement Stephen King, something like that. Bruce Dern is the local sheriff in this small town. The small town is called Swan, I think, with two N's. And Elle Fanning plays this girl V on the cover. Um, it also has Joanne Whaley, who is an ex-wife of Val Kilmer. I believe they have a kid together. So that was kind of interesting as well. So Val Kilmer goes to this small town and gets wrapped up in this mystery of these kids that had gotten murdered in the town. He's doing a signing at a local hardware store because I guess his career is not what it used to be, so he's just kind of doing autograph signings anywhere that will have him. And Bruce Dern, the sheriff, comes into the store and says, I have this great idea about these vampire executions and murders. Maybe we can do a joint book together. And that's sort of how it starts. The movie goes between Val Kilmer having these really crazy dreams and then the real world, which I guess, like I said, Betwixt or Twixt, hence the name of the film. It's not a horror movie by any means. There's a lot of CG when Val Kilmer goes to these like dream worlds and starts talking to people and seeing things. He's seeing, Edgar Allan Poe and all these different weird characters from the town, and he's talking to them and stuff. It's someone in an interview in a review, excuse me, had said it's one step away from local weatherman green screen, and I think I would agree with that. It's got this weird CG vibe. It almost feels like Twin Peaksy, but looks really bad. I don't know if that was intentional, where they tried to make it feel very fake in a way, not too realistic. The whole movie, as I said, feels like a murder mystery. There is some like Twin Peaks type of vibe. Francis Ford Coppola wrote this, directed it, I mean, everything. Produced it. So it's some sort of labor of love for Francis Ford Coppola. Um, it did not do well. One of the things they said he wasted a lot of time and money on over the years was he filmed the movie and then he would cut it and change it while people were watching it digitally through some expensive way, I guess like on the road, like he would show it in these small places and people were watching it and depending on how they reacted, he would cut it and change it. I don't know if it meant then and there or after the viewing and then the next town would get a different version. So there's like many different versions of this film, I guess, but the one we got was the final version because the cutting and redoing aspect of it just didn't sort of work out for him. Um, so anyhow, Val Kilmer's in this small town. Bruce Dern and him want to write this novel together, and the whole movie sort of this tongue-in-cheek mystery. Val Kilmer in it is pretty good. He's actually funny in a couple points where at one point he's doing like the writer's block sort of scene, and he's typing and he's trying to think of how to start this story, and he keeps repeating himself and saying goofy stuff, and he's drinking probably Francis Ford Coppola wine, because that does exist, I found out. And he's drinking and he's getting a little tipsy, and he starts to mimic other actors and other things while he's writing. So he mimics Marlon Brando. He imitates him very well, which I thought was very funny because he imitates him from Apocalypse Now, which Francis Ford Coppola, I believe, also did. And he was in the island of Dr. Moreau with him, and they supposedly didn't get along and were vying for this, like, dominance in the film, like who was the bigger star. So they didn't get along on set. So I found it very funny that he imitated Marlon Brando. Um, his wife in the film is Joanne Whaley, who he was married to in real life at one point years ago after Willow. And she's constantly calling him and saying, like, all these bills are coming in, they don't have money, and all this stuff. Meanwhile, he's got this, like, weird dream sequences going on in the film, and they show you that his daughter had passed away from a boating accident in the movie. Coincidentally, and I don't think this was on accident, Francis Ford Coppola's son had passed away in real life from a boating accident. So I think this film was some sort of cathartic endeavor for Francis Ford Coppola. He touches upon these weird dreams he was having and he turned them into a movie. He touches upon his son dying in a boating accident, though in the film it's his daughter, Val Kilmer's daughter in the film. Um, it all starts to unravel, and by the end of the film, things get packaged up very nice and tightly, and the movie just ends on a good note. And I don't know if I believed the ending. I almost wondered if it was some kind of Val Kilmer fantasy or dream, because it just wrapped up way too nicely. There was no, like, loose ends or anything strange. It was just like, oh, this happened, and here's some words on the screen, and everything is good. And it was just kind of an odd ending, but I liked the film. I think that some of the imagery was cool. I like the weirdness of it. I like the dream sequences. If you're into Francis Ford Coppola's old work, his epic Godfather trilogy, well, the first two at least were epic, or, Apocalypse Now or other things he's done, I don't think you'll like this. This is just a weird sort of labor of love B movie. That's what it feels like, with some strange actors and strange characters. The deputy sheriff, I didn't love his acting, but I don't know if his acting was intentional and he was kind of being more goofy and um, just strange with his lines on purpose, or if he just wasn't a good actor. I thought Val Kilmer was pretty good. He made me laugh a couple times. As I said, the story and the way the juxtaposition of the film is, it's a mystery that's very tongue in cheek and goofy in ways, where I did get a couple laughs out of the movie. And I don't know, I think that was intentional. I don't think this was meant to be a completely serious film. Um, Elle Fanning is in it. As I said, she plays V. She's this, like, vampire girl who Val Kilmer starts to run into in his dreams, and then that starts to sort of drip over into real life, and then this mystery starts to unfold. But it's also not completely, like, laid out for you on a red carpet, so to speak. Things are so strange that I think this is one of those films that you could probably go back and watch again and gain other insight from seeing or hearing certain things in the film. The film was very simplistic. The story was very simplistic. The ending was very simplistic. But I feel like there was hidden meanings in some of the dream sequences that I didn't pick up on. As I said, I think overall it was probably a cathartic sort of labor of love, like, hey, I have money, so let me do this type of film for Francis Ford Coppola. And I did like it. I'm going to keep the movie. I think it was totally worth the dollar that I paid for it. Um, it came with the digital copy as well. But if you're going into it for some epic Francis Ford Coppola film or some really creepy horror, you're not going to get that. You're going to get this strange, like, podunk, small town murder mystery with some very weird dream sequences that are so loose that you can't tell which. I mean, besides the bad special effects, you can't tell, like, maybe some of this is real and he's thinking of it and it's opening some of the mystery up. But yeah, I thought this was good. I didn't, like, love it, but I thought it was a pretty cool movie. Um, they do, talk about Edgar Allan Poe in it, and there's an actor in it who portrays Edgar Allan Poe, and it just seems self-aware in certain ways. So check out Twixt if you haven't, and if any of what I'm saying sounds interesting to you. It's not for everyone. I would say to keep an open mind and maybe even have a glass of wine. I didn't, but maybe that Francis Ford Coppola glass of wine, like Val Kilmer in the movie while he's writing his book, will loosen you up and sort of take you on this little strange adventure with a little bit more of an open mind. So yeah, let me know if you guys have seen this, what you thought. I think most people will probably be disappointed if they're looking for normal Francis Ford Coppola, but I was not. So thanks guys for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good. I did want to mention one more quick thing. At the end of the film, after the little prologue words roll on the screen, this song kicks in, and it sounds like Bauhaus, Bela Lugosi's dead and all that. And I'm like, this is kind of interesting. It's like Nosferatu, Nosferatu, like really deep and bellowing. And I'm like, what is this? It's Francis Ford Coppola and Val Kilmer singing the end theme. And I thought that was really cool. The song's actually pretty good. It's a good gothic song that I thought the goofiness of it again went well with the sort of tongue-in-cheek humor of the film. I meant to mention that. I just wanted to add that in there at the end. Thanks, guys, for watching again. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.